Howdy folks, Dreadshells here, and welcome back to World of Tanks. Today's video is going to be a little bit more on the shorter side compared to what my normal commentary videos are like. So you guys won't have to sit through as much of my rambling. That's mainly down to just the duration of this game wasn't very long. Today we're going to be looking at a game that I had in my WZ-131 on Ruinberg from the North spawn on standard mode, and we are in a tier 10 game. And a few quick thoughts about the WZ-132. I fell in love with this tank back in patch 9.13, I think is what it was, when they buffed the rate of fire of the 100mm. Before they did that, this tier 8 Chinese scout tank suffered a lot from power creep. Mainly because when the RU-251, the German tier 8 scout, and the T-54 lightweight, the Russian tier 8 scout, were introduced into the game, the RU-251 was a better spotter than the WZ-132 and has great DPM, really good firepower. And the T-54 lightweight, everybody knows that's a really strong combat scout, so to say, and it has actually armor that can actually bounce something sometimes. So this the WZ-132 was kind of left in the dust. It didn't really excel at anything in particular. It's slower than both the T-54 lightweight and the RU-251, and it does have 400 meters base view range, which is good. And it does have decent camo rating, but the firepower was lacking on the scouts. So they buffed the rate of fire on the 100mm, and now I believe that the WZ-132's damage per minute is actually better than the T-54 lightweight. So what you get with the WZ-132 compared to the T-54 lightweight, for example, is you have a stealthier tank that is a better spotter because the WZ-132 has 400 meters base view range, while the T-54 lightweight is the only tier 8 scout that has 390 meters base view range. So the WZ-132 is a better spotter. And also the WZ-132 can place more effective fire because the 100mm has 189 millimeters of penetration with standard AP rounds on the WZ-132. And if I'm remembering correctly, the standard AP rounds for the T-54 lightweight are 175, so it has less pen. So yeah, better penetration with the WZ-132's 100mm. I don't remember the penetration values of the APCR rounds on both tanks, but I'm venturing to guess that the WZ-132's APCR is better as well. So you pen your targets more often with this tank's gun as well. So you, in summary, you have a sneakier tank here, but that isn't as durable as the T-54 lightweight. But moving on to the game here, like I said, we're on Ruinberg North Spawn Standard in a tier 10 game. A decent amount of tank destroyers on both teams. When you're looking through the team compositions, what you need to be looking for, not only as far as tank roles, like which tanks have armor, which tanks have mobility, which tanks have view range and camo rating, but another thing that you need to be looking for is firepower, right? Which tanks have high alpha guns, which tanks have quick reloads with really good DPM, which tanks have burst damage, like autoloaders like the 741 Bulldog or the SP1C or the T-54E1. All those general things are the things that I look for when I'm looking through the team lists and the compositions. I don't really see heavy tank, medium tank, light tank. I see flankers, brawlers, snipers, that kind of thing is what I'm looking for. So anyway, before I ramble on too much longer, let's just start the game. And we'll bring up the team list here. Now, the other main reason that I'm showing this game to you guys on Ruinberg is because fairly often I get comments in my videos about people requesting to see gameplay of scouts on city maps or city type maps. So I have several more games after this one that I am going to show you guys that are on those kind of type of maps, and so you guys kind of get a feel for what a scout is kind of tries to do in games where it doesn't have a really defined spotting role and scouting role per se. Stick around for a risky shot, second shot on the Bulldog there, and luckily we were able to snipe and lead our shots well in the bushes. Get 2 shots into the T-69 there. Really seeing the buffed rate of fire of the 100mm here. I'm also using food on this tank because that increases my view range and my rate of fire. Those 2 particular attributes in particular. Of course, it improves gun handling as well. Don't have a shot on the T-49, and sneak in a sneaky shot through the wall on the back of the Object 140, and he actually doesn't spot us because his turret is behind the house there. So even though we could see part of his tank, he wasn't able to spot us back. Unlikely penetration there on the well-angled side of the E5, but we track him and we get a nice chunk of assistance damage because just as we track him, a couple of our teammates smack him for about 1400 damage. Go for another blind shot there. Playing this really conservatively here. You don't want to stick your nose out too far when you're the most forward tank in this position. The north spawn on Ruinberg, actually, we sneak another shot there through the wall. There's actually a wall right here in between these houses, as well as the bushes, so snuck a shot through there. And what we're kind of doing here is we're playing a supporting damage role, right? We're being sneaky, we're only exposing our tank as little as possible, and we're letting our teammates be the focus of the fire of the enemy tanks, right? And as long as the enemy tanks are distracted with my teammates, who have better armor than me and better hit points than I do, then I am free to shoot the enemy whenever they are exposing themselves. Now I'm going on the offensive here. Kind of taking a bad line, actually, scouting out the remainder of the field here. What I should be doing is moving up and hugging the red line over here like this from the buildings behind me. Luckily, I only get tracked by the Object 263 in my initial crossing, and I think the SP-1C bounced his first shot as well, so we potentially could have died there, actually, if a couple more of those shots from the enemy had landed and done damage to us. But now, once again, I am getting damage in on enemy tanks when they're distracted by my teammates, right? This 121, my tier 10 Chinese big brother medium tank, was distracting the Object 263, and I was able to get a couple shots of damage in on the 263. Go for a shot on the move there because I figured he was going to die really quickly from one of my teammates, as there was 5 people surrounding them there, and I figured he would die pretty quickly. And now it's just the T-110E4, the last tank alive. So I'm going to sit in the cap circle here and get a couple of capture points, because I know that there's no way that I'm going to get over there in time before my teammates kill him. So a very quick game. As far as strategy for how you're gonna play in a scout on Ruinberg from the north spawn, I think I've talked about this in a couple of my previous games that I've shown on Ruinberg. I think that the north spawn, if you look here on the minimap, fortunately my free cam isn't working with this version of World of Tanks, so you'll have to look at the minimap here. The north spawn actually, I believe, has an advantage in playing the field area, or the 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 lines. And that's mainly because if you look at where the spawn point is for the north compared to the south, it's slightly offset to the east. So you're closer to getting into position along this E-line horizontal road right here. And another reason why the north spawn has an advantage in the field is because if you look, the E-line road kind of starts to turn south and actually turns into the F-line as it goes into the city. And this means that tanks that are sitting on their safe side of the E-line street here on the north spawn can actually shoot into the city safely without exposing themselves to fire from the enemy tanks that are opposite them, right? However, if you're from the south spawn, you can't do that because if you sit up here in these buildings in F9 and F0, then the only shots that you'll be getting is if enemy tanks peek on the corner here in E6, and then of course trying to spot enemy snipers in A6, A7, and back here and along the 0 line, and then the tanks opposite you. So if you're on the south spawn and you want to shoot down this diagonal center street here that goes from E line to F line in the city, what you're going to have to do is you're basically going to have to win the field first, right? You're going to have to kill out the enemy tanks that are directly opposite you here in like a D8 and D9, and then you're going to have to clear out the snipers on the 0 line, and you're going to have to clear out maybe the snipers on the A6, A7 area, and then that way you can move over here and then start shooting enemy tanks across the city. But anyway, that's enough rambling about map positioning there. Now, if you notice, if you guys were paying attention during the course of the battle, you'll notice that I went through quite a bit of premium ammo, and that's because I was really dumb. And when I was sitting back here in E9 and I was shooting at the E5, I think I loaded APCR because I figured I would have a very slim chance of penning him, even with some of his side armor or the side of his turret without loading some premium ammo. And dumb old me, I forgot to switch back to standard ammo, so that means I lost a butt ton of credits in this game, as well as using food. So it's kind of funny. After I played this battle, I was like, wow, that was a really good game. I got 3,000 damage and I had over 5,000 assistance. And then I looked at the score sheets and I was like, why did I lose all these credits? And then I realized that I had forgotten to switch back from premium ammo. So I'm sure some of you guys have done that too, forgetting to switch back to standard ammo after the situation no longer requires you to have premium ammo. But that is what it is. Technically, this game could be put into a one-sided affair because we won a 15-2. And since I haven't really done commentary on my one-sided videos, I probably will just leave this as a decision-making video. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this game on Ruinberg from the North spawn in my WZ-132, the Tier 8 Chinese Scout, and kind of got a feel for how you play on this map from that spawn and how you play as a scout on this map when you don't have any armor and not very many hit points, and you play more of a supporting role as a flanker and support your teammates when they're taking the initiative and attacking the enemy. Wish you guys the best of luck out there. Happy hunting and take care.